to Creating Wellness in 2024. I'm so excited that you can actually join me here. Very excited to get launched into this amazing program. So this might be the start of something really special for you. So I'm hoping that you're going to get lots of little gems, lots of little ideas, lots of little laughs, and and see a way forward for actually doing something about creating your own wellness and becoming a wellness warrior. So welcome to my wellness warriors. I hope you're all fueled up with green smoothies or at least a cup of coffee for this enlightening journey we're about to embark on. We're on a mission. I'm going to debunk wellness myths and sprinkle a bit of humour into the journey to a healthier you. So welcome. We're going to separate the quinoa from the quacks. I see you. I hear you. I see that you're struggling to stick with those New Year's resolutions and manifesting those dreams and can't get rid of the extra pounds from the Chrissy cheer that might have been building up even before Christmas and it's just added to a little bit more. Perhaps you've got the challenge of mood swings or, same old. Or perhaps you can't shake off that label. Maybe an immune challenge. It could be an ADHD or a get fit or all of those sorts of labels that we put on ourselves. So anyway, so what we're going to do is firstly we're going to debunk some myths and uncover some problems in the diet and the food industry. Shock horror, all those things that we actually believe in all the time. A quick debunk of some of the exercise myths. And then we're going to get into the principles of success in those areas after we've debunked those myths. And this is where the nitty-gritty stuff starts, of course. First up, the jungle of diet and exercise myths. It's a wild place out there. And we're here to be your wellness Tarzan. So let's tackle the first problem, the wild jungle of diet myths. And I love that photo because it's actually got, the trees are made of broccoli. And there's all sorts of pumpkins and fantastic looking things along the way. And I'm not too sure what the birds are, but they look a little bit like cabbage leaves or something like that. But that wild jungle is a bit like navigating the salad bar where every leaf thinks it's the best leaf. So I want to be your wellness GPS today and guide you through the maze of kale conspiracies. There's so many prevalent myths about dieting and exercise, and the food industry and the fitness industry are very much in cahoots. They purport that exercise is the solution for losing weight. And we've only got to see it by the gym memberships, but how many gym memberships start up at the beginning of the year with those New Year's resolutions? I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to get fit this year. So I'm going to join the gym. So they pay up and they pay up for their 3 months or their 6 months, and then they go for a month or they go for 4 or 5 weeks, and then it starts to ease off. And they just sort of lose impetus because they found that just doing the exercise, and I'm not saying exercise is bad here, I'm just sort of saying that we need to actually, if losing weight's one of our main things and getting well is one of our main aims in life, we need to have a little bit of a think about that. So Coca-Cola and Nestle campaigned together to keep you exercising to burn calories. But did you know that 80 to 90% of your body weight is determined by the food that you eat? So food companies add sugar, so you want to eat more, and now they suggest that you exercise to burn off the calories that you've just eaten. And PepsiCo and Weight Watchers and the sugar industry campaign that sugar doesn't equal weight gain. And there is a new epidemic out there. It's called diabesity. And that word was actually coined by the medical industry to sort of identify the fact that we have a huge increase in both obesity and diabetes. So, diabesity, it is a new epidemic. But I know all you wonderful, well-fit people on this call are just not in that category, but we can all just learn a little bit more from everything that we learn. So diets are for weight loss? It's predicated on a very bad idea. And then more ideas are added, suggesting changes for a short period of time, buy their supplements, meal replacement powders, exercise machines, resulting in nothing but damage to self-esteem, and they actually lower your metabolism. So the negative impact of misinformation on overall wellness 95% of people fail on diets and they regain the weight in less than 6 months, because they did a study of the winners of The Biggest Loser, and after 6 months, they had all regained the amount of weight that they lost. And however, the diets for weight loss, that statistic's often misinterpreted, because I think the truth is dieting is often synonymous with suffering and restriction. And so consider the reverse, that 95% of diets fail people. And then there's the push for exercise. So look at the late night infomercials for exercise equipment right after the ad for McDonald's or Pizza Hut. Nestle and Milo have both had their health stars dropped as a result of new labelling. So there is a real need for evidence-based approach to wellness, to achieving genuine wellness. Otherwise, we go through the roller coaster of emotions and pant sizes that come with each diet trend. And I'm sure we've all had all of those. So let's have a look at the caloric conundrum. The fat fetish, the sugar sorcery. We'll address the myth about calories. The food industry has so much to answer for the whole notion of calories. Calories are just a measurement of heat, nothing more. How much heat does it take to burn a particular item? They're not a measurement of food quality or nutrition. Absolutely not. So how can we compare the calories in that stick of broccoli compared to that block of chocolate? I do love that little picture, because I think that just really typifies, having a little discussion between the broccoli and the block of chocolate. Or even a can of Coke and some grilled fish. We just can't compare those calories. They're just so different, yet they can have exactly the same amount of calories. And the old sugar sorcery. Sugar can feel like a magical spell, tempting you, but it's very deceptive. So let's break that sugar enchantment and unveil the truth behind sweet illusions. And when they talk about what is sugar-free, it's usually got artificial sweeteners in there, which are not that good for you either. What about the fat-free fad? So let's just add a little bit more sugar so it tastes okay. And we all know that we actually need fat. We need fat. We need fat for our bodies to be working properly, to create all of the different, to break it down into the fatty acids so that we can then build the right sort of fats in our body. So let's rethink calories. Calories don't matter. They are theoretical, the labelling is fuzzy, and they're allowed 120% variation on their labelling. Calories are very different from trans fat to sugar. So it's only a measurement. We need to remember that foods actually communicate a message to the body. Now, I'll just say that one again, because I think that's really crucial, that foods communicate a message to the body. And that message may be to store fat. And that's exactly what sugar does. But I know you're not all silly. And I'm really emphasising the extreme here, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't know that all of this exists already. But another problem we have is unrealistic expectations and that one size fits all. So raise your hand if you've ever felt personally victimised by a celery stick. Unrealistic expectations can turn wellness into a dramatic love affair. Spoiler alert, it's not you, it's the unrealistic expectations. So let's break up with those altogether. It is absurd to think, though, to consider a diet that's designed for a marathon runner could be applied to a couch potato. But who wants to be a couch potato anyway? Obviously not you wellness warriors that are here. We all want to create positive flow states, just going with the flow, reducing anxiety, improving concentration. Even just to improve our walking and our exercising and our breathing and our hormone balance. Did you know that extra kilograms of fat on the gut and the thighs actually slows down brain power, which leads to poorer performance and consequently less income? However, I'm going to pose this question to you. How can the Hadza Bushmen in South Africa all survive on the same one-size-fits-all approach? I want to introduce you to Eric Edmeades, and he spent 10 years with them, living with them, studying their way of life, hunting trips with them and their diet. And as a result, he came up with the amazing Wild Fit program. I can't speak highly enough of this program, and my results speak for themselves. After 3 months on the program, I lost 8 kilos. You may say that's not a lot. My goal was to lose 10 kilos. However, the big thing was after 6 months plus Christmas, I've only gained 1 kilo. And it was the most valuable investment in my life that I've made in myself. It was truly transformational. But more on that later as I show you how this is integrated into a complete wellness package. Look at this one. It's a bit scary, isn't it? So we've got to stop the cellular neglect roller coaster. We've been treating ourselves like forgotten houseplants. They actually need a little bit more than just water or sunlight, water and sunlight. That's another thought. So modern lifestyles and cellular health has a big impact. So factors like poor hydration, stress, and environmental toxins can contribute to cellular neglect. We're emphasising the consequences of ignoring cellular health. And what happens? Chronic fatigue, chronic conditions, compromised immune system, and wellness plans that neglect cellular health are like a road trip with a flat tyre. Sure, you might reach your destination, but it won't be a smooth ride. And then what happens? Enter the external solution circus, where we juggle medications and quick fixes. The real magic is within your cells. So there is an over-reliance on external band-aid solutions. There's a prevalent trend of seeking those external solutions without addressing the causes of, and without addressing cellular health. So the limitations of solely relying on medications, which usually are quick fixes for symptoms, without addressing the root cause at the cellular level. So there's actually a need for a holistic approach that focuses on empowering the body's natural healing abilities. And I just love that circus picture. Welcome to the Fitness Myth Comedy Show. First of all, there's the all or nothing mentality. Exercise doesn't have to be an Olympic event every time. It's okay to aim for a brisk walk or a casual dance-off or a regular Get Fit program, and it's comfortable and it's part of your everyday routine. But remember, even a sloth stretches. I can just imagine him sort of saying, so just exercise like nobody's watching, very slowly. And the food and the fitness industry are in cahoots, as I've said before. They purport that exercise is the solution for losing weight. Coke and Cola and Nestle campaign to keep you exercising to burn those calories. So repeating what we said before. And the exercise machine companies, they had their daytime infomercials for the housewife who's sitting at home looking for these solutions. And, oh, I'm going to buy that machine because look what it's done for those amazing people. So I want to debunk the myths again about calories burned to lose weight and how exercise actually triggers fat retention. Because if you over-exercise, it's saying to your body, I'm burning up all these calories that I have, or I'm burning up all the energy that I have. So I need to retain more fat so that I have more energy. And it's a really vicious cycle that you can get into. So too much exercise actually triggers fat retention, or any sort of exercise triggers fat retention. But you need to get to the point where you're actually burning fat, because energy is available in two forms. The empty calories, the sugar we have in our blood that we burn very quickly. And so what do? We exercise and then we drink sugary drinks to replace it, or we eat sweets to boost our energy. Doesn't really make sense, does it? Second myth is the spot reduction myth. Who wouldn't love a world where doing an endless ab exercises magically melts away that cheeseburger you had for lunch? But alas, reality check out. Our bodies have different plans. So while we can't pick and choose where the fat melts away, we can choose a well-rounded exercise plan that suits our lifestyle. So goodbye cheeseburger dreams. And problem number 3, once again, unrealistic expectations from workshop trends. You ever try to work out the promise to 6-pack abs in 6 minutes? It's like abs by Houdini. Now you see them, now you don't. So we've got that three-ring circus of wellness myths. The jungle of food and diet industry, leading us up the proverbial garden path or jungle path, in cahoots to promote a false dynamic. The bigger picture of the mini-scale cells, the 5 laws and the little known area and the breakthrough of the first responders in cellular health, redox. So we've also debunked the exercise all or nothing mentality, the spot reduction myths, and navigated the 6-minute abs magic show. Exercise is not the answer. 80% of body shape is directly related to the food we eat. So let's rewrite the wellbeing script. The connection between food and how it influences our mood and energy. And why does changing your relationship with food matter? Why? So asking you now to have a think about, if you change your relationship with food, why would that matter? What's important for you? Why did you join today? To look better? To feel better? To heal faster? It's been a wellness myth-busting circus, and who knew that working out and creating wellness could be entertaining? So remember, wellness is not a one-size-fits-all. It's your unique story, comedy, drama, and all. So now let's go out there and become the star of our own wellness show. Let's talk about principle-based solutions, the mind-body connection circus, where your thoughts and emotions perform acrobatics that can either stress you out or cheer up your cells. No program can be successful if it doesn't integrate mind, body, and soul. So body. We've discussed all the impacts and the myths on the body, nutrition, exercise, cellular health. What about the mind? On the effect of the DNA changing, and just by thinking and emotion. But we also have to integrate the 3 brains. We've got the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain, and they all have to come into sync. So the head brain's the thinking brain. Yes, we know. Yeah, we've got all the knowledge. We know that. Our gut instinct says, I'm hungry, I'm feeling a bit low, I'm going to have that piece of chocky. And the heart brain sort of saying to you, this is not where we really want to go. So there's 3 different brains thinking 3 different things. So we all have to come together and think. And this is the mind. This is where we need to be working with the mind. But this is where the vibrations, if you're getting the right vibrations, the right way of thinking, the right way of, once you do get the knowledge in your head about what's right, your gut's actually starting to feel good, then the heart brain is actually going to start to be in cohesion, and you're going to get the right vibrations, which is then going to alter your future reality. So where does knowledge and knowing just how to solve a challenge come in? So maybe it actually requires someone to walk with you on that journey. Someone not only with the knowledge, but someone who's walked the journey before. This is where soul comes in. Community feeds the soul. So why not be part of a community that walks the walk? And evidence-based strategies that are as legit as your grandma's chicken soup for the soul. Oh, and your grandma's chicken soup for a cold. You are the sum total of the people you associate with and the knowledge you glean while learning. But it's all about getting results. Time for some cellular nourishment 101. So it's like giving your cells a buffet, and they get to choose the healthiest options. So let's make all those cells foodies. I want to introduce the principle of providing the right resources for cellular health and healing at the right time. As a qualified cellular health coach, I know exactly the sorts of nutritional support that you need and where you can get that sort of support. And lifestyle choices in nourishing and supporting cellular functions. But I want to introduce you now to the notion of wild eating, following instincts based on Mother Nature and seasonality. So what's really interesting about this one, it actually allows the pancreas to respond to change. And that's what our pancreas is supposed to do. It's actually supposed to respond to change. We can turn on and off bodily functions by triggering them with seasonal modes. For example, during autumn, we prepare for winter. and we store and gain weight. If you were living with the Bushmen in South Africa, as I was saying, this is exactly what they would do. Look at that beautiful picture, a bountiful autumn harvest. We have that bountiful autumn harvest in our supermarkets all year. So what do? We eat that all year, and then we wonder why we are gaining weight or have those extra pounds that are just sitting there that don't need to actually be sitting there. So that's our bountiful harvest. In spring, what happens, because during winter, of course, if you were living with them, you would find that those kilos would be melting away because you wouldn't have this bountiful harvest. And especially by the end of winter, you're actually starting to sort of feel, oh my goodness, but you've had enough fat to store you through the winter. And in spring, our body loses that extra fat because the food available to us then is all beautiful green leafy stuff, as provided by Mother Nature, green leaves and flowers. So it's provided by Mother Nature, not the year-round supermarket, which tricks our body. We can have total mastery over our body, which is why I call it wild eating mastery. In our current way of eating, we don't let the pancreas do that second job of reducing the need for insulin. Yes, we talked about diabetes before. So the pancreas's second job is reducing the need for insulin. So we can actually change our whole relationship with food with this process and the whole behavioural change dynamics to introduce it slowly, incremental changes, which is what we need to be doing. And it's easy if you start at the beginning. We're hosts to millions of other organisms, and our body is driven by our gut bacteria, which is part of why our gut brain is really instinctively, I want this, or I need that, or it's a very quick instinctive thing, the gut. You know, it's the gut feel. I need that. I'm hungry. I want that. Did you know that serotonin influences our happiness? Which is why we need to walk in the sunshine in the morning to let the sunlight into our eyes to turn off the melatonin and kick the serotonin into gear. But did you know that 90% of serotonin is actually produced in the gut by those amazing bacteria? So we do need to be looking after the bacteria in our gut and allowing them to chop and change with the seasons. So let's make lifestyle changes as enjoyable as a road trip detour. It's not about the destination, it's about laughter along the way. So Mission Impossible, yes, and it often is impossible. I talked about the New Year's resolutions and making those New Year's resolutions with the gym, etc. And then you find that, yeah, it's a little while there. The mission was impossible. You weren't able to keep up with it. You weren't enjoying it. So if your wellness plan feels like a mission impossible, let's scale it down to a mission totally achievable. And imagine how good you're going to feel at the end of that. So we'll teach you to set goals that won't make you want to go and hide in the pantry with a bag of chips. And I really want you to achieve realistic and enjoyable lifestyle changes, realistic goal setting to avoid frustration and burnout. So this is where the behavioural change dynamics will really help your journey. Imagine your journey to wellness as a road trip, where the detours and the pit stops are not only allowed, but they're actually encouraged. Mindset shifts that contribute to a positive and sustainable wellness journey, totally changing your relationship with food, and personalisation for lasting results. So transformation. Transformation is a permanent shift that lasts. So in week 6 to 7 of my program, you will see a huge shift. Doesn't happen straight away because I said they're incremental changes, but you'll actually see a huge shift in week 6 to 7. So it's a 13-week program. And so I want to introduce you to be not just a weight loss program, although that will probably happen, but it's a transformational wellness program. So here's a couple of quotes from the 2 biggest takeaways from the program. So increased energy levels, feeling less tired, and feeling like my immune system was stronger, and not reaching for that 3 p.m. candy bar. Now that's a big one because that 3 p.m. slump is really massive for a lot of people. 3 p.m. in the afternoon because you've had a brekkie and you've had lunch, and then 3 p.m. and you go, ugh, because you've run out of that sugar. So you're feeling the desire to treat yourself. Oh, there's the gut brain in there. At the end of the hard day, by turning to foods that ultimately do more harm than good. So in short, the third part of that quote was a change in my attitude towards what I eat and why. So I want to introduce you to the Feast of Truth, the nutritional and wellness blueprint. It's not just a diet plan, it's your ticket to a lifetime of feasting on health, flavour and truth. Trim, taut and terrific. To feast on truth, let's follow some principles though. We want to understand the caloric context. We want to break the sugar spell. We want to embrace the good fats. We want to embrace the seasons, understand the seasons, work with the seasons, revitalise those cells. It really is a veritable feast that leaves no room for myths. So thinking here, are you struggling with, and I mentioned this right at the very beginning, are you struggling with losing that weight you gained over Christmas, feeling sluggish and frustrated, overwhelmed at the busyness of life? How about that brain fog? How about balancing personal demands and career and business, feeling worthless, feeling fat, or maybe you're living with a label that prevents you from feeling well? So we make it simple for you to find yourself and clear the fog. Clearly identify and create your end result. Learn new tools and techniques to help you feel empowered to achieve and create wellness. We're going to explode your own individual negative beliefs and sabotage programs. That's a biggie. That's a huge one. So we're going to also navigate and balance the physical, physiological, and the emotional change naturally. And we're going to get support from someone who will walk beside you, listen to you, and understand your struggle. Here's what you get when you join. First thing, emotional resilience. And you might say, how does food actually create emotional resilience? But if you gain the tools to navigate the emotional challenges on a changing journey, you'll build that emotional resilience. Stress reduction, big one. Empowerment. We're going to discover your superpowers and the amazing, unique you. Holistic well-being, embracing the holistic well-being practices. So, in short, discovering your magic, exploding old beliefs and myths to create the serenity you are seeking. So don't believe me, believe the pics. A couple of friends, once again, this is what is actually possible with the seasonal eating and the behavioural change dynamics. So transformations from simply wild eating and behavioural change are dramatic. So a couple of pics from friends who joined me in the last program. Some other wellness warrior quotes. Still not convinced? Let's hear from the wellness comedians. So yes, truly nourishing your body. It's a program that promises to remove no pain, no gain. The biggest differentiator of this program is rather than just diets and nutrition, it actually ultimately provides you with food freedom. And I talked about being a freedom facilitator. That's what I'm all about. So perhaps this is the ultimate freedom.